So what to you is enlightenment?
Well, one thing is, it's not a single step switch. So for all these people that think, oh, I'm awake now, I was asleep and now I'm awake, it's like, no, that's just step one. And the process of enlightenment is actually quite well mapped out. You know, spiritual traditions have done this in a way. And in the East, it's called the Bodhisattva levels. There's 9 of them. In the West, it's called the initiations, and there's 9 of them. And these are the steps of the enlightenment process in humans, which is obviously the process of becoming more aware of the light that is within and immediately around us. It really is that simple in a way, but it is certainly a series of steps and not this one step switch.
If you could characterise enlightenment,
I could characterise it. I'm not sure what you mean by characterise it.
What is it as a felt experience? Because some people, I think, ask themselves, have I not, have I experienced that? You know, there are people who feel that that I have been enlightened, I am enlightened.
Yeah.
How does one know when one,
one
truly is or not?
Well, when we all have micro-enlightenments. We all have, and they can be anything from a small aha moment. So a little tiny aha moment of insight is a micro-enlightenment, but it's not an initiation, which is one of the major steps of enlightenment. How does one know? Well, each of the steps brings a different fruit of awareness and of actual perceptual enlightened attainment. It's so funny because the only answer is you know, and it's because generally somebody will be whipped into an experience that they didn't realise they'd asked for, but it will feel like they weren't asking for it at the time. Generally, it will involve a feeling of not being in their physical body or their awareness having shifted from that. There will generally be awarenesses of connection and alignment with forces greater than ourselves, within and or without. It can manifest itself in countless ways because it's all about what the conscious mind does with the sensory information. So the experience of enlightenment, well, is actually a similar set of processes for people, but how they interpret the process is what determines what they blabber about afterwards. So you have different people who will pick up on different nuances of what's happened to them, and often it will be garbled, it will be incoherent at first, and it's because enlightenment is a breakthrough of a pre-existing perceptual framework. That breakthrough is always followed by a breakdown. So some people will experience the breakdown element rather than the breakthrough element. So they'll feel breakdown and will only experience it as breakthrough much later. Some people will experience it as breakthrough and be less aware of the breakdown element of it. But they always go hand in hand. Our institutions, our mental health homes and our streets are filled with people who have had micro-enlightenment or major initiations. They've not been aware of what it was. They've gone and spoken to somebody about it while they were still garbled or a bit incoherent, or they hadn't sharply dissected and interpreted their experience so that it's coherent. And generally, when they've gone and spoken to somebody about it, it's all about the reaction of that person. It's all about what they say. And that person who's had the experience can either end up on medication for the rest of their life, end up feeling like they're mad or something wrong with them, or they could end up, finding a supportive environment where all of a sudden this can be normalised and we can start to build intelligent, rational and coherent mental frameworks that include our enlightened or spiritual experiences.